the first idea was, thing to know is that when York was out west with the Nez Perce Indians, he married the chief's daughter, Chief Ray Grizzly's daughter. And then they left to come back home, but she gave birth to a son. The descendants of York are recognized and identified, and they know who each other are in the tribe. And I had a chance to dine with them over 2 summers. But they never told me they were descendants of York. They just kept saying, okay, now you have to eat with so-and-so's family. And I would, my son and I were there, and we'd have dinner or lunch. And then 3 years later, they said, oh, by the way, those are all York's descendants in the tribe. You've actually broke bread with everybody. And then they gave me, what became the kind of the seed for what became When Winter Come. Because they said, here's the oral history that talks about the relationship between York and the daughter. And Sunday Produce, do something with it, because this information is not in American history anywhere. So we wrote the second book. So now the third book imagines that the expedition has happened. York has been home 10 whole years. Even though he was promised his freedom, he was not free. So he's been a slave 10 whole years after the expedition. And he finally is free 10 years later. And instead of following the narrative that Clark gave us, which was that York died in the mountains of Tennessee on the way back to him to be a slave again because he wasn't happy as a free man. I have a hard time believing that. A lot of people think he went back out west, and knowing that he had a family, that's the motivation, because he couldn't find his enslaved wife, because that family that owned her moved out of Kentucky. He never saw her again. So this story, he makes a decision to leave Kentucky, this part of the world, this part of the frontier, and head back out west by himself, on foot, without a map, to find his family. So that's kind of where it starts. If I can get through this, but I want to burn my tongue and have some voice left. This is what I do. There's an icon, West African symbol, that is called Sankofa. And Sankofa as an image is a bird with his head turned around backwards with an egg in his mouth. And as a story, it means go back and fix it or fetch it. You can always go back in history and correct something. So this very first poem is called Sankofa. Epigraph, African proverb. It is not wrong to go back for that which you have forgotten. And these are in York's voice. Hope, desire, and regret take up too much room in the heart and be watery things for a man to carry while he's trying to grab freedom with his own 2 hands. The 10 winters I've refused to pine for the laugh of a nappy little buffalo York and a pair of soft Nez Perce thighs exploded into my dreams like a cottonwood in an ice storm. Even before I give up the search for the one who made Kentucky home, I keep dreaming that bird sitting on a buffalo skull with his head turned round and reaching for a seat on his back. And I know I must heed old York's words and go back and fetch it. The same time period overlaps the Haitian Revolution. And I try to imagine what rumors of the Haitian Revolution were alive and being passed around, because we also know that there were a lot of slavery rebellions that started happening in the South, and there were a lot of efforts to, counteract those rebellions. Some horrendous things happened, and this is a reference to one of them in here, near New Orleans. This is called It's Time. I know even the air is whispering, go. When picking up my last wagon load of freight, I hear a slave brag about being Indian. Said he lived in in a fort with 1,000 just like him in the swampland way south of Virginia, that all slaves ain't thirsting to go north, that runaways in Miccosukee lived as one, and it took a whole army to drag him and those who didn't choose death back into bondage and free labor. He didn't have to put it on his tongue, but the look in his eyes said as soon as he figured out a way, as soon as even an eyeball a route, he would be in the wind, and it would take more than an army to bring him back alive. I had my freedom papers, but he had a glow that couldn't be shackled, a smile that said it's one thing to not be a slave, but it's another to really be free. Power